All right, everyone. It looks like peace in our time may actually be a thing. Yeah, Trump is hamming it up right now. Link in the description, archived, of course. There was really, everyone knew that he was going to ham it up by taking that first step towards a lasting peace deal between the Israeli Authority and Hamas. And it looks like, generally speaking, it's working out. The hostages have been released. Prisoners have been released on the other side. And so you've got that exchange. You've got the withdrawal of Israeli forces from some parts of Gaza, although not entirely. And this is just the first step. And here's where things get bogged down a little bit. This is a great victory for U.S. diplomacy. Trump managed to do this without having to drop a bunch of bombs. Yes, he was arming the Israelis, and I'm not really comfortable with that because I'd rather my tax money go to orphans or something, or widows in the United States. But overall, as a general rule, the peace deal appears to hold. It appears to have been successful, and hopefully it leads to other things in the future. The hope is that over the successive years, something can be worked out between Palestine and Israel to create an actual lasting peace. This is probably the most difficult friggin' job. Think about it this way. Donald Trump is approaching his 80s. He's an older dude, but he's still got the vigor in him and the drive and the will to try to take literally the biggest geopolitical mess that the world has ever seen and try to actually correct it. He's the only one that's actually man enough to do the job, by the way. He's the only one with that specific set of skills where he understands foreign diplomacy because he's been in business for so long. So unlike a lot of the people that lead DC, they're lawyers and stuff like that. They've done business domestically, maybe they've gone to Western Europe, maybe they vacationed in Cancun or something like that. That's basically the breadth of their understanding of the rest of the world. Trump does understand the rest of the world because he's been doing business with them since the 1970s. He already understands. Yeah, when I go to this nation, there are different mores, there are different cultural norms than the ones that I'm used to. I have to adapt to that in order to actually interact with people at all. He understands that, and for which I give him more credit than anything else. Of the US presidents that we've had recently, we have had mostly presidents who were very insular. Obama, for example, his idea of an exotic trip is going to Hawaii, which is a U.S. state. Biden, well, I mean, he didn't understand anything, so we'll give him a pass for now. Bush. Ironically speaking, George W. was actually really good with regards to politics in Africa, of all places. I don't know exactly how he pulled it off, but I'm assuming because he's a drunk and he likes to party a lot and, dance around and stuff like that. If you go back, though, through the presidents of recent past, most of them have not really been cosmopolitan individuals, and they didn't really have a business background or anything like that. Trump does. It sets him above these others, even Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, for the most part, was also insular. He was more concerned at the time with Eastern Europe and so forth, which makes sense. But Herbert Walker, yeah, I mean, he puked on the Japanese prime minister after getting food poisoning. We'll put it that way. Clinton, his big geopolitical role overseas was almost causing World War III over an airport in Yugoslavia at one point. You'll remember, I can't remember the name of the general. He was a big Democrat, actually, and ordered his troops to invade an airport held by the Soviets. The local command said, that's not a good idea. We're either going to get killed or cause a nuclear crisis, so we're not doing that. And thankfully, World War III was averted. World War III has been averted on 3 different occasions, by the way. Once by a nuclear sub-commander who was Soviet, once by the lower command there in Yugoslavia, and then at another point by a CIA agent who correctly deduced that the tape that they put into a training program was the wrong one, and that indeed the Soviets were not actually nuking our country. Very, very strange. Oh, if you go down that rabbit hole, you'll have many, many hours of fun adventure. But Trump is getting applauded even by the liberals at the moment. It's like the Abraham Accords. They don't really have the ability to, I mean, what are they going to say? Oh, peace bad. Oh my God, we didn't get 100% of what we wanted right up front. And so this is actually a failure. I'm seeing a notable decline in posts by high-level so-called influencers on the left side of politics at this very moment. Like the Krasensteins, they've been awfully quiet for a couple of days. I wonder why that could be. Could it be because to try to be antagonistic on this issue is basically to say that the war should continue? Nobody wants that. The Israelis don't want it. The fucking Palestinians don't want it. Americans don't want it. I don't want a single cent of my money going to the government if it's going to buy bombs and shit like that and missiles and send them to other countries. I'm not interested in this shit. And so this is a great victory, actually. But, and here's the but, we always have to have the nuance in the channel. The big but is, big but, yeah, Shaniqua over there. The big but is that this is only one small step towards the peace process. It's an important one. It is an extreme victory. It is being universally applauded to the point, again, where people that don't like Donald Trump aren't really talking at all right now. Don't have anything to talk about. Oh my God, Orange Man did something that I cannot construe as a bad thing, because it means less dead people. That's usually good. Well, then I guess that I'll just go to sleep. I don't think that I'll tweet today. And they're sad about it too. Some of these people appear to be sad about the fact that peace might be breaking out in the Middle East. It will take time and a very, very long coordinated effort. This is not going to be Rome built in a day, so to speak. There's no possibility that between Israel and Palestine, there's going to be a lasting peace without a huge, gargantuan amount of effort. We've seen it before. It is possible, but it is probably the most thankless job in the entire world. I don't envy Donald Trump, honestly, for having even tackled the issue. There was a reason why in his first term, he immediately pivoted. He was trying to do peace talks there and say, hey, can we get along? No, we can't get along. He went to fucking North Korea figuring that he'd get a warmer reception. Now, North Korea is trotting out new launching platforms and some sort of new missile system, and Trump will probably have to tackle that too. But the thing is, at the very least, at the end of the day, we have a leader in the White House. He is not perfect. He is not a splendiferous individual with unique talents or anything like that, but he's sane. He's sane and he's knowledgeable. This is all we need. He was capable of doing things in the diplomatic sense. Look at the Abraham Accords. Look at the repatriation of remains in North Korea. He was able to do these things despite having no political experience whatsoever, and I think that that is his biggest asset. He was not a politician. He wasn't a politician, he was a businessman. And so when he goes into these other countries, he goes in with the mind knowing you want to make profit. That's the ultimate game. You want profit, money, power, so forth. We want that too. We can have a rapprochement. It's not that difficult to do. The politician goes in and says, well, come on, man, it's my way or the highway. But that's not the way things work within diplomacy. I think that this is one small step for mankind, and I think that it'll actually continue. I think that Trump will be successful in the end. Will it lead to a long-term lasting peace? I do not know. While I would love to be optimistic, when we look at the history of that particular part of the world, long-lasting peace only tends to be there at the barrel of a gun, when another empire has taken over the entire area. Can we return to some semblance of peace so we don't have to give a bunch of weapons to Israel? We don't have to free up our purse strings to give a bunch of aid to Palestine because they're capable of rebuilding. My hope is that at the very least that will happen. And this is something that other presidencies have repeatedly tried to do, and they have failed. Donald Trump, he succeeded right away. It was actually almost magical. All he had to do, and uniquely, he's got that Trump personality, all he had to do was say, oh yeah, everyone's on board. Everyone loves the peace deal idea. Yeah, this is great shit. Yeah, they're all on board. And then he smirked at them and dared them to countermand him, saying, look, I've already announced to people there's going to be a peace deal. You want to back out now? That's not a great idea. we'll make it a little bit more difficult to give you weapons and stuff. And it worked. His plan, in the end, worked. That's about all. Peace out.